From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Dennis's Heating and Air Conditioning is Northern California's premier heating and air conditioning contractor. From residential housing, large commercial projects, installation to repair, sheet metal fabrication, and everything in between, we are your go-to heating and air conditioning specialist.
Well, we made it through the first day of the heat wave. We've got 2 more days to really get through this entire weekend, and maybe even into Monday. It's still going to be pretty hot on Monday, but we're going to see bigger drops in our temperatures by Tuesday, Wednesday, and even into Thursday. But that heat wave, yeah, it peaks over the weekend. The possible record heat for some of us, not everyone. We'll get into that in a second. And then not as hot for next week, but it's still going to be pretty hot anyway you look at it. Now, you take a look at this. This is basically just saying, hey, yeah, we've got the heat through the entire weekend. It's basically just along the coast where we're not seeing those excessive heat warnings or the heat advisories. So your planner for your Saturday, there it is, 110 degrees plus. In fact, for Redding, about 113, Red Bluff 111, and Chico about 110 degrees. For the mountains, most likely 100 degrees or higher for most of us. There you can see about 103 for Mount Shasta City, as well as Etna, 101 for Alturas, 103 in Susanville, 102 Bernie, and Paradise, a high of about 103 degrees. So we look at that temperature trend, and the normal high for Redding is about 100 degrees. So yeah, we're going to be above that really over the next 7 days, quite honestly. But you see how the temperatures are dropping down to 102 Wednesday, and then there's going to be another slight increase toward the end of next week, but certainly not the increase that we're seeing here this weekend. Record highs, don't think it's going to happen for at least Redding. The record for both today and tomorrow were set in 1972, and I think we're going to be well shy of those records. However, Mount Shasta City, different story. There you can see the record for today is 99. The record for tomorrow is 98. And I think we're going to break both those records, especially if we can get up to 100 degrees or higher. Now, for Alturas, it's going to be close. You can see that the record is 103, but I think we're going to be shy both days, today and tomorrow, by a degree or two. And for Susanville, I think we're going to break the record today. But tomorrow, you can see it's still breaking it by about 1 degree. So it'll be close. But you get the idea. It's mainly the mountains that are really feeling the impacts, at least with these record-breaking temperatures. And how about taking your dogs for a walk? Well, things to keep in mind when you're walking your dogs. The best place to walk them during these hot summer days is, number one, not to do it. But if you have to, on the grass, that's the best place. Because look at the concrete. It already bumps up by 9 degrees, and you can see the different surfaces, how quickly those temperatures can really increase from the overall temperature of grass. So the best surface for your dog is going to be on the grass. But usually after about 9, 10 o'clock, it's just a good idea to say, you know what, no more walks. Keep them inside to protect those paws. So the peak of the heat wave again is today and even into tomorrow. But as we go through next week, that bubble of heat pushes eastward thanks to this and thanks to this, pushing that heat back down to the south and east of us. However, by Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the heat expands. And as it expands, our temperatures will increase, but not to the point that we're seeing here this weekend. Because essentially what's happening is this cooler air and this heat, they're kind of playing this tug of war game. Sometimes one wins out over the other, and that's why we see our temperatures kind of go up and down as a result. Now, we're also tracking the monsoon moisture because that could bring us some thunderstorms in the mountains come Sunday and maybe even into Monday, because that monsoon moisture will be flowing around that area of high pressure and being transported over Northern California. Something worth watching. I don't think it's going to be a major concern, shouldn't be a problem. But then as we go into especially Monday afternoon and Tuesday, we'll be looking at those thunderstorms pushing back to the east, and the monsoon moisture will be out of here. And by the way, when the monsoon moisture moves over us, by Sunday and even into Monday, it's going to feel a little bit more muggy than we're used to around here. All right, so here's the Trinity County Fair. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be hot. So, you know, the best bet for you is going to be most likely in the evening hours. Now, of course, the fair is not going on Monday, but you can see the temperatures will drop, of course, just in time. So here's some heat safety tips. Number one, hydrate. Drink plenty of water. Make sure you've got that if you're going to be out and about. Apply sunscreen. Don't forget about that sunscreen. You don't want to get sunburn. Wear light, loose-fitting clothes, and also take regular breaks in the shade. I do know that there's plenty of shade over in Hayfork at the fairgrounds there for the Trinity County Fair. So, you know, if you have to go out, just try to find those breaks every once in a while in the shade while you're hydrating yourself as well. So there it is. Look at these deep reds, especially in the valley. This is when you know it's going to be hot. 113 degrees for Redding, 110 for Chico, even some of those deep reds in the higher elevations as well. Most of us in the mountains, I think, are going to at least touch 100 degrees. with the exception of places like Aden at 98. But there you can see with the coast, yeah, of course, they're kind of bragging. They're putting in our face there with temperatures in the mid-60s. There is your 7-day forecast for, of course, the next 7 days. And you can see Mount Shasta City, a little over 100 degrees for today and tomorrow. Temperatures mid-90s Monday, Tuesday, and really not seeing much of a change. Basically mid to even some upper 90s by the time we get into Thursday and Friday. And for El Tourist, we're back down to the mid-90s on average here through next week, and in the mid to upper 90s for Susanville next week. So again, not as hot for next week, even for the valley, although it's still going to be hot. We're still over 100 degrees. In fact, still above normal for this time of the year for Monday through Friday. But you can see at least we're dropping back down closer to about 100 by Wednesday, and then a slight increase come Thursday and Friday.